How you doing? This is Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and I am super excited to get to review the Xpedition lineup for this year. I haven't had the opportunity to do reviews on Xpedition in the last few years because I just didn't have access to them. But now, as you know, if you've been following my videos, I've moved to Iowa, and River Bottom Archery is carrying Xpedition, which is in Central City. All right, in this video, I'm going to be going over the Mako, which is a bow that I've had people asking me about. This is a speed bow. It's a 5-inch, right around a 5-inch brace height, as you can see. I mean, even the cables are getting pretty close to the riser there. This is the op screen with the I think it's Realtree camo limbs. I'm a camo guy, so as you can see, this is I kind of like this kind of camo pattern, so I like that. It does have the newer style of, you know, rubber. I don't even know what their technical term is for this that goes between the limbs there, but this is the one bow that they have that you do have to change out draw mods if you want to change the draw length. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot it today. Now this particular one currently has 29-inch draw mods on it. I put it on the draw board. It is 29 inches. So when we compare apples to apples, bows to bows, this isn't going to compare exactly to all the other bows I've been doing because they've been all shot at 30 inches. And generally speaking, I see around an 88 foot per second difference on an inch when you're getting out around 30 inches. But that's not a precise estimation because it really can change from one bow to the next and from 1 inch to another. Like I've done tests on bows where, you know, at your longer draw lengths, there was maybe an 8-inch difference in feet per second. And at some of the shorter draw lengths, it was a lower difference, maybe 5 foot per second. So again, it's not precise, but I'm gonna take a couple shots with it. You know, I've had people who have been interested to see this bow in action. So let's see what the draw cycle feels like. We'll see what the back wall feels like and how it comes off and all that kind of stuff. So as you would expect with an Xpedition with the limb stops, it's a rock solid back wall. Let me just try easing down here. All right, so it stays on nice, and it's not to the point where you have to push it forward. You just ease up and it'll eventually come. So that's my personal preference, but everyone has their preference on that. Let's take a couple shots through the chronograph. Again, we're an inch shorter on draw length. So it's not an apples to apples comparison compared to the other bows, but we'll just see what's the speed at 5 grains per pound, 29-inch draw. 335 on that one, which is close to, it's about 8 to 10 feet per second than some of the other bows I've been shooting Xpeditions today. .336. And 336. All right, let's take a moment to go over the data that I collected. I want to point out as well that I shot this bow at 29 inches, not 30 inches. All the other reviews I've done this year were at 30 inches. Typically, your IBO rating is at 70 pounds, 30-inch draw. So as often as possible, I try to shoot the bows at 30-inch draw, 70 pounds. However, the bows at River Bottom Archery were all peak weight of 65 pounds. So I shot them at their peak weight, 65 pounds, and I just dropped the weight of the arrow from 350 grains to 325 grains. So it was still shooting 5 grains per pound. And that gives us somewhat comparable readings. However, being that this was an inch shorter, I would expect about an 8 to 10 foot per second difference slower at this 29-inch draw than what you would experience at around a 30-inch draw. And that's just a guess or an estimate. So let's take a look at the data and see what it came out at the 29-inch draw. So my average speed was 336 feet per second. And I would guess that if we were an inch longer in draw length, we may have seen more like 345 feet per second. The advertised speed for this bow is 364 feet per second. And out of the bows I've shot at the Xpeditions, my readings were coming in roughly around that 20 feet per second slower than the advertised speeds. And again, there could be a number of factors involved with that. I only shot these at 65 pounds as opposed to 70. However, even if I shot them at 70 pounds, 5 grain per pound, I don't think we would have seen 20 feet per second faster speeds than what I got. So that's one of the reasons I do these tests, is so that people can get an idea of where the speeds are in relation to the manufacturer's advertised speeds. And I really still like these bows tremendously. So let's head back over to River Bottom Archery to get a final synopsis. Actually, before we head over there, I'll just point out we do have our draw force curve, my back wall ratings, where it was very solid back wall, as solid as you could get with these limb stops. And then as far as how it comes off of the back wall, it did have my favorite rating, which is 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10 is when you feel like you have to push your hand forward and it creates an awkward situation. 8 out of 10 is where you can ease up your muscles and eventually it comes down for you. And 5 out of 10 is when if you're not careful, the bow kind of wants to jump forward on its own. So it does have my favorite ratings for the back wall. All right, let's head back over to River Bottom Archery. And by the way, you can call him at any time to set up an appointment to shoot the bows. So let's head back over and get the final synopsis. So, as far as the draw cycle, it's there's a little bit more to it than some of the bows, but it's not that aggressive compared to others. So it's still a nice feel to it. I try to draw it. I do have some shoulder problems, so I try to draw it slow just to get a feel for it, but that's harder for my shoulder because of the injury that I have. But anyway, I think it's pretty neat, and I think those of you who are curious about shooting a 5-inch brace height bow, this is definitely one to try. I'm pretty impressed with the dead in the hand feel that you get with these. Let me just take one more shot here real quick. I'm just going to lightly wrap my fingers around it, let the bow do what it wants, and you can just watch. It just sits there. It's really nice. So it got a good feel when it goes off. I am a fan of Xpedition. I kind of like them. I like the way they tune. So I would encourage you to check them out. Today I'm at River Bottom Archery in Central City, Iowa. If you live in Iowa and you want to try out the Xpedition, give him a call. I will put his information in the description section of this video. And his shop is at his home, so you could always give him a call if you're passing through and see if he's available to let you shoot some of the bows. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. I hope you'll check out the rest of my compound bow reviews. Until next time, take care and God bless.